everybody, welcome back to my channel. It has been a really long couple weeks. I had to take me a break from social media, from everything, guys. It was just one of those emotional roller coasters. I want to detach from all of the negative vibes that were out there on TV, social media. You know what I've been doing for the last couple of weeks? I have been listening to jazz for the last couple of weeks. I just could not do any more negativity about the election, candidates, their lives, their families, mudslinging. I just had enough. It was just one of those things where it had my whole aura. Everything about me was just in a slump. And I said, you know what, I'm gonna detach for a minute and just meditate and just listen to, you know, something that's soothing. It's almost like I went into just an isolated island by myself. I just needed a minute, but I'm back, guys, and I'm here tonight to talk to you again with another topic. You know, my topics always kind of venture into friendships, or it talks about relationships, and tonight I'm going to go back to relationships. I'm going to talk about finding Mr. Right. And the reason why I want to talk about this tonight is because a couple years ago I posted a video, and it had to do with living single and dating over 40, and I really had a lot of positive feedback from that video. But you know, you get some negativity, and sometimes I just don't understand why people feel the need, random people just feel the need to come on your videos and post something crazy, but you do. And so I got to looking at old videos the other day, because I went through my archives, and I'm like, man, I've actually posted a lot of videos out here. I think I have about 195 videos over the course of 3 years. I think I have put out here. And I was just looking at some of my old videos and looking at the differences in between how I've grown, or even how I look. You know, I've changed over the years, and I was just laughing at some of that. And I ran across some of my really good videos that had generated many views. I have some videos that have upwards of 12,000 views, and I thought that was awesome. And this particular video, Dating Over 40, I think has around 9,000 views. And so I was looking at the video, and then I actually read some of the comments. And you know, sometimes you can't keep up with all of the comments. So when I go back and I start catching some, I've actually responded to comments that people made that were 2 years old. But my whole point in doing that was because I try to respond to all of the messages, and I can't imagine what someone with 30, 40, 50, 100,000 followers, how they keep up with all their messages, if me with not even nearly 1,000 yet can't keep up with all of the messages. So that is like a challenge. But I read this message from this particular guy, and I hope I'm not looking green. It seems like my lighting is making me look green, but if it is, y'all look over it. But I read this message from this particular guy, and I was talking about, you know, the characteristics that I look for when I'm dating and where I'm at in my life, because I have actually, my life has changed a lot, and I'm in a place of peace. I'm in a place where I feel that I've grown, and I shared with some people that I decided to be celibate. I had been married twice, and that is what I want to talk about. The person tried to really tell me in this particular comment that maybe I shouldn't be sharing my opinion about dating, since I've had 2 failed marriages. And it's interesting to me that people can pass judgment on you when they don't know your life, and they don't know what the circumstances was that led to your divorce. And when we get here on YouTube and different platforms where we share our personal life, we really don't have to share that. I could fabricate it and make my life as beautiful as I wanted it to be. And none of you in this audience know me. But when we be vulnerable and we tell personal things about our life, I don't think it dawns on a lot of people that we're doing that for a purpose. And a lot of times sharing even the painful things of your life can be to help someone else. And that may be at that particular spot, or maybe haven't gotten there yet, or it's a learning tool for somebody that's young so that they won't get there. And so that is my purpose in sharing some of the things that I share on my channel, is because I feel the need to bring sisters, women together. And I share a lot of the experiences that I have as a middle-aged woman in hopes that it may help someone who may be struggling with some things right now, or who may be looking to struggle with these same particular things at some point in life. And this may help them to be able to recognize those challenges before they get to them, or if they're there, they can work through them. Now, my first marriage, I married young. And so I was married to a guy that was in the military. And being from the South, you know, Southern hospitality, I mean, I just love people, you know, and I was taken away from my state of Tennessee, and I traveled all up the East Coast, all the way up as far as New York, all the way down as far as Florida, traveling with this man, and it took me away from everything that I knew. And I wasn't prepared for the fast life of the military. I didn't know about all of the infidelity and the cheating, the lies and deceit that went on in this particular type of lifestyle. And I got a rude awakening. So once I got away, and I was a mother, I had small children, and I was having to deal with a man that was being promiscuous. He was doing everything under the sun, and I never understood why he chose me to marry and want to live this wild lifestyle on the outside. So it took me many years to get away from that. And when you live in that type of world, and you are damaged and hurt from it, because that was a span of 10 years that I spent as a military wife, dealing with a cheating husband, and rumors of having kids, and while I was married to him, that can do something to you as a person. It does something to your self-worth, your self-esteem, and it takes a lot of time to recover from that. But luckily, thankfully, God was present in my life during the latter years of that marriage, and I was able enough to get the confidence I needed to move away from that. And I had 3 small children, and so my life just was very difficult, to say the least. And not to go so deep into that part of it, but to share that if you haven't lived that life, you don't know a person. So moving right along, fast forwarding maybe 10 years later, and I met another guy, and because I had been so hurt in that particular relationship, you looking for the exact opposite. And so the exact opposite is what I got. I didn't get someone who cheated, but I got someone who didn't even know what it means to have a wife, that felt that a wife was a trophy, and it was just something to be shown and nothing to appreciate or to love and care for in the way that a woman needs to be loved and cared for. I had a home, of course, I had nice things, but it lacked everything else: the emotion, the affection, the love, the physical touch, all of that. It was just a marriage of convenience. And so at some point I said, I need to stop this, and I need to get myself together, because choosing the wrong men or allowing these particular men to be a part of my life was not good for me. And I had to figure out what it was about me that had me going in the wrong directions. So I decided to take a break. And through my course of about 4 or 5 years, I was able to learn, I was able to grow, and I was able to heal. And that kept me from being able to make these choices in relationships that was going to be damaging and detrimental to me. And that is why I decided to take my spiritual journey even deeper, and I decided to be celibate. Because a lot of times when women get involved on an intimate level, that can confuse a lot of things, because you're attached in that way, and that a lot of times you allow things to happen because you're so emotionally attached from the physical aspect of a relationship. And with my spiritual journey, loving God and knowing that that particular life, that particular part of the relationship is really reserved for marriage, I wanted to try that life. And I am so pleased that I have. And so to that particular viewer and to that person that decided to write such a negative comment, you have to understand the journey before you even make a comment about what somebody can and can't do. A lot of times a person that has been through a lot is really a person that can teach, a person that can share experiences and help someone. So my life and the things that I've done and overcome will help another woman. And I'm very, very sure of that. And so that is why I share the things that I share here on my channel. But I do appreciate you listening to my video, and I appreciate you commenting. But you got to understand before you comment. You can't always lash out at people and not know what they're going through. So for me, Mr. Right is a person that will love me not only on a physical level, but will love me on a spiritual level, an emotional level. And that person, we will meet in the middle there, both of us equally. And until I find that person, it's okay with me being single. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with experimenting with life and learning to live alone and enjoy things. And I've developed so many hobbies in this time that I've had, you know, to be alone. And when I say be alone, I'm not meaning I'm just in a hole in the corner in my apartment. I'm not, because I have a very, very active social life. But bringing a man into this space has not happened. And I'm glad of that. I have very few male friends, but I do have a few that I actually, you know, go to dinner with, I go do a movie with, or a show, or play, or travel, you know, to a beach or something. But the intimacy is left out because that's reserved for the person I feel that will love me unconditionally, love me the way that God loves me. And that's what Mr. Right is for me. That person is loyal. That person is honest. And if you can't trust the people you're with, then it's no reason. Physical attraction has nothing to do with it. If you can't trust that person, if you can't feel secure in that space, if you can't believe that you guys are spiritually on the same course, then that is not somebody that I personally want to be with. I meet very, very many attractive men. I mean, when I say attractive, I've met some attractive men. But at this particular point in my life, it's more about that, because looks will fade. Looks will fade. As we get older, things change. You got to love that person from the inside out, and that is exactly what I'm looking for. So Mr. Right will be someone that has the qualities on this inside, and it's okay if he has it on the outside also, but I will look inward before I look outward. So if you can understand that, then you can understand what Mr. Right means for me. And we will do things together from a spiritual standpoint. I want somebody that can pray with me. I want somebody that will love my children. I want them to know, the person that if I fell ill today, that person will have my back 100% the same way I would have his, because that is the way God would want it to be. So that is all I have today. I hope you guys can relate to this video. If you have any comments, ladies, if you experience anything like this, please leave your feedback in the comment box. I think a lot of times men don't understand what this means to us, and it's just not about the physical. And when you're young, that is kind of like, you know, where your mindset is. But when you get older and you're more wiser, you understand what it really means to have unconditional love. So take care, and I will talk to you all later.